2003 to the 15th of November 2003. And as you see here, this is a hotel reservation from the dodgy or whatever hotel, which somewhere in Brighton. And this was the place that we had to go, and I had to go or be part of. And I'm sure some of them might recognize the logo of this, and know what sort of hotel that can be. And I share a room with David Blake. You see his signature. That's my signature. That is David Blake's signature. You know. And I think the room of 232, right there. These are moments which I found myself discovering and become aware of all these things. So maybe if that hadn't happened to me, I probably wouldn't have looked so deep and took the line of, making logical approach, logical thoughts, and somehow having some academical approach to the whole book. I probably would have just, be consumed by the old-fashioned or the tradition that has been descended. But there are wide and big whole group out there that even disagrees but hold on to it. I've got friends who do the contrary. They live their life contrary to the book, and they believe their life is okay and generating something for them. But deep down also they accept that one day they will, get old and they are ready to accept the guilt that they were wrong. But they have to do that and ask for forgiveness and enter into the kingdom that they are looking up to go into. Friends who have that kind of approach. But every day of their life, this moment, they are the struggle that the faith, the tradition is always fighting against, or because their presence is not required. Excuse me to say I didn't want to even bring it up, but it's an example that I have to use. There are other examples, but this sometimes has become more of a more sensitive, idea to sort of that has been taking place, a sensitive issue, which is regarding the gay society. The Bible clearly speaks about a gay issue in the Bible. It is not hidden. Probably the Quran also, the gay issue. But here, a group of people who also have got people who have become like that, and they study the book, and they are pastors, and they are whatever in the book, and they are reverends and whatever. There are even some who believe in the Bible but do not believe in God. They teach the Bible that do not believe in God. One time in the BBC program, BBC One program, and one reverend who is an Anglican reverend also believed that he didn't believe in God, but he teaches the Bible. How he's going to teach and bless people, I don't know. But with the gay community, as I said, if it's very much something that can be related in some sense, the book talks against it, plainly speak against it. But the book does not only speak plainly about gays. It speaks about almost so many things. It talks about fornication in the straight, among the straight people, among whichever class or category you find yourself. It talks about stealing. It talks about lying. It talks about and what do you call that? Incest. It talks about backbiting. It talks about deceiving. It talks about usury in terms of borrowing and taking money from the Bible. Talks about so many aspects of the human life that is considered as sin or wrongdoing, and everybody is one way or the other guilty in most of these things. And so on that level, the gay person has got a good grounds to debate with his fellow man who also sit in that church hall and claim God. Because if you sit there, you claim God, and God leaves you to go ahead, then I also have the right to sit there and claim God. This is the gay argument that people have realized that they use. But I know that it is plainly written there. To my view, if you are anybody, whether you're a fornicator or you are gay or you are lesbian or you are a liar or whatever thing that you know eventually you feel guilty of and ask for forgiveness, you know that you are into, you advise yourself and say, okay, then I will keep away. And all the groups who are in the category that I'm in, that I class myself, we could build our home somewhere or our church somewhere and do our own thing. Because if you guys will feel that you are acceptable and have every right to be before God, then you have every right to build your own institution and go and do something on your own. This is encouraging separation and division, but not me. It's something logical approach or suggestion I'm having looking at the books, and the best way that no one will conflict anything or conflict each other. Because the Christian book has got these issues there that needs to be tackled. But if the rest of the people, the rest of the wrongdoings cannot be touched on or cannot be raised up, then why on earth would they also feel that they had to be put out? This is what gave them the right to be there. As long as the others are there, then they should also be there. But not just the others. The entire members of the church have got something wrong. Down from the pope to the usher. Down from up from the pope to the usher. When they get there, they make their confessions. They accept some of the wrongdoing. You see things coming out of their life that it's been revealed by others. Some things, and they have to accept the wrongdoing and beg and say, God forgive us, and that Jesus Christ died for us, and all that. But some people who are still not worthy before the same God have the right to stop other people, and that's the issue. They feel now gays feel that they have to marry in the church. Could you believe that? They also want to marry. Now, if they seriously have issues, I think they can build their own church, gay church, and take up their marriage there. No big deal. I mean, God has no issue with anybody. So you do that. You don't need to go and do that in the church if the church doesn't want you there. I mean, you can. You say, yeah, take your church. You do your church. Everybody, you have gay pastors and do your own church. But you don't have to. But they normally have to be there because of the benefits and the already established place that they are, and the sort of using that, the sort of how necessary it is that they have to use the church or use that group they are in, that they can't afford to sort of go out, because the world has been established and moved into a stage that if they lose that moment, that long-term relations that they build there and the benefits that it has to come from it, they can't start afresh with something new. But if everything will be shared appropriately, like the prodigal son, if you are going to give the gay pastors and the fair share, everybody will get a fair share, everybody will, will easily move into their own domain and live their own life, not troubling the other. So if the church really has got a group of people that are really sanctified and holy and righteous people, that they are only acceptable in the church hall, that the other people should be, there are other people that can be, erected out, then surely they must give the prodigal sons their fair share of life, the benefits or whatever is there, so that they can then move slowly to their own life and build their own churches and do whatever they have to do. Because the fair share of that is that the people cannot just draw people out and leave them penniless and ruthless, and what, they should go out there wretched. If you have the right there, they have the right there, but you insist that they don't. So then they go out there and then face their own God and build their own life. But that cannot be done because people always want to take advantage of people, take advantage of the situation, and talk about issues, but they are not ready to make sacrifices that will lead to a peaceful moment. So that's the issue. You go to Israel, the same thing. The measures, they know what to do, but they are not ready to take up the sacrifices that they have to take upon to bring peace among themselves. And this has been the issue. Somebody wants to drive you out of the way, but he's not ready to give you a fair share of the national cake for you to also to survive on. But yet he wants you to go there penniless and thirsty. I don't know how these things are going to work if we are not ready to make sacrifices. Thank you.